Welcome my fellow crafters, I am DiDi and thank you for joining me for Crafttube number 2. Number 2? Yeah. Little bit more than a week ago I posted my first one and I got some very lovely comments. Thank you all, thank you all. Sandra actually commented that she didn't have Instagram and so she would love to see my finishes. So Sandra, especially for you, I'm gonna do a finish DP video for all the finishes I did this year. Maybe later this week, I'm not really sure, it's kind of busy. Just a tiny bit. Who needs to live? You only need to work, right? Yeah, crazy schedule. And some other people left also very nice comments. I really enjoyed reading them. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I haven't changed the channel name yet. I might, not sure. Don't know, not yet. I have an itchy nose. No, I don't. I'm not ill, just an itchy nose. I've got some coffee. Some very nice coffee. Yeah, what's been up last week? Well, we had a heat wave, the longest heat wave ever recorded in the Netherlands. Especially very nice if you have night shifts and you need to sleep while it's hot outside. We had temperatures over 30 degrees Celsius for more than a week. Yeah, very fun. Lots and lots of fun. So yeah, it's been, yeah, just warm. No, you know when it's very warm you don't want to eat? Well, yeah, that kind of heat. So I had to work out on Thursday. It was 34 degrees and I had to do a workout. I just warmed up by cycling for 6 minutes and I was sweating like crazy. Oh, it was horrible. But I did have a good workout, so yeah, it was good, it was good. And I had night shifts. And I do not mind night shifts that much. Most of the time they're pretty easy going, but somehow I always attract the crazies. And what I mean by that is I don't mind working night shifts. I'm okay with night shifts. If you're ill at night, you need to have a doctor. No issue, I'll do it. But somehow I always attract the patients that think that if they have a fracture in another country and they come back from holidays and they visit the hospital at 2:30 a.m. you are gonna arrange everything and they're gonna get the surgery that's needed at 2:30 a.m. No, if you needed surgery that bad, they would have done the surgery in the place where you were. And the reasoning behind for that very special person, which cost me an hour to convince them that they could go home, was because he was alone the next week. Well, yeah, it's very sad, but we're not going to do surgery in the middle of the night for something that can be planned. Planned surgery is always better. Always. Less risk, much better. So yeah, it took night shifts, my compassion goes to 0. I must say that. I get cranky for the bullshit. Sorry for the word, but yeah, sometimes we've got a lot of bullshit during the night. My first night was extremely busy. All people I saw were seriously ill. They needed to be there and I loved it. That's, yeah, work deformation, but I don't mind working very hard for all the people that really need my attention at that moment. No, I don't mind eating. No, why should you eat? So I had my dinner at 5 a.m. in the morning. By the time I was hungry, so hungry and angry, and just because I didn't eat. So I did have a lot of coffee that night. Night shifts are coffee. I swear if you take some blood from me, I think you're gonna draw pure coffee. But yeah, so just a little rant, but oh yeah. And then there's always the virus. The virus. As a doctor, you can't escape it. Not really. We need to see all people that cough, sneeze, have a sore throat, have a fever, even though they come with stomach problems. We need to see them in full gear. A full gear isn't too bad, but when it's 30 degrees outside, even during the night, it's warm. It is hella warm. Because you're still wearing your normal clothes, then your coat, then the protective gear with the mask, with the goggles, with the everything. It's very warm. And somehow I think most of the people sneeze a bit, cough a bit. So I think there are 3 or 4 patients I saw in 4 shifts that I didn't need to dress up for. Yeah. Oh well. Yeah, it might be. It feels like it's getting worse. Not sure. Don't know the numbers. It's hard to track at the moment. We do seem to have a little rise, not so much in our region yet, but don't know. We'll see. We're prepared. We do have all the plans. So if it gets crazy again, we know exactly what to do. We can easily scale up all kinds of care. So we're going to do that. But you're not here to listen about me rumble about my life as a doctor. No. You're here for crafting. Well, when I craft, I do Crafttube. So at the moment, I'm watching Rachel Ray's playlist of all her Crafttubes. I'm at number 13 or 14 at the moment. So I've been going through it pretty fast. And I do audiobooks. So I had the entire, I love my audiobooks in English. I don't like them in Dutch, no. For those of you who didn't realize, I'm Dutch, I live in the Netherlands, and I tried getting audiobooks from an American site, but they were very expensive. And now I found a app subscription that is called Storytel. So if you're in the region, I really recommend it. They do have books in Dutch, but they also have a very large number of books in English. So I listened to the entire Harry Potter series, I think the week before last, in English. Always best in English. And last week I've been really hooked on the Divided We Fall series by Trent Reedy. It's written for young adults, but it's about a boy in Idaho which by accident starts the second civil war of the United States. And there's a 3rd book coming, if I'm correct, but it isn't out. But that audiobook was so amazing because you have all the different voices, you had sound effects, you had, when it turned on the radio, there was actually music playing in the background while you were taken through the story. Loved it. So that's, if you have the possibility to listen to the book, I really enjoyed the way the book was done, but I also enjoyed the politics in it. It's simple politics, and I'm not from the States, so my politics are very different than your politics. But I really enjoyed it. I really love the post-apocalyptic or end of the world stuff. It's something I'm attracted to. So yeah, if you haven't, listen. I really would recommend those books. There are 2 so far, and I couldn't stop listening. I actually drove another round with my car just to get the chapter done because I wanted to hear the end of the chapter. Yeah, that bad. And I started The Fireman by Joe Hill, which is about a virus that makes people erupt in flames, but I've only gotten halfway through the first chapter, but it seems to be quite alright, so we'll see. And then, well, we're actually getting to the stitchy stuff, and we're only 12 minutes in, so not too bad. Quick recap of my week. So I do have a finish, and I have 2 whips. So I tried to change on a Sunday, and today is Tuesday, August 17th, if I'm correct. Yeah. Or 18th. Are we on the 18th? I believe we're Tuesday 18th. Getting over everything in my head, but I believe it's the 18th or the 17th. Who doesn't care? It's Tuesday, so I already made a switch, but I made the switch a bit earlier because I promised myself that I would switch either when I have a finish or a finished page or at Sunday. And if I switch early because I finished the page or finished the project, I need to do the entire week afterwards as well. So I have a finish of the whip you saw last time. This is it. This is my very cute cacti, very quick project. Loved it. So that's it's done. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but I'm very proud of the back. Like, it's very neat. Yes, I'm trying to get to the point where I can do neat backgrounds. I'm not really there yet, but we're trying. Then I started on a little whip from my haul last week, because I finished the cacti on Saturday, so I had another day, so I started on this one. So it is this very cute, I think it's a chipmunk. I know the Dutch squirrel or squirrel. Translating, fast translating. And there's a lot of pretty French knots, and I really wanted to try the French knots. And this is a 100 by 66 stitches, and this is what I've done so far, and I'm really loving it. And I did my first very tiny French knots, and I actually enjoy them, and I think they really look good, but you can't really see it. I'm gonna try to get them as close as possible, but yeah, they're really fun to do. I know I've heard some people complain about them, but I really enjoy doing them. It's like knotting a suture. It's the same movement I use when I just stitched. And I got pretty far with this because the other whip I finished the page. So, but yeah, so I'm really liking those, and I got the rest of the week to work on that one. So yeah, little squirrel, we're gonna work on that. So very happy. And last time I showed you my flowery heart, and I didn't know the stitches, but it's 160 wide by 174 tall. And I finished the page, so I have now, I'm halfway done. This is it. So I had to do only this little bit, so that didn't take too long, and I'm really loving it. Somehow I managed to get this little thing, because it's a bit farther out. It's like one stitch too close to that side, and I missed some stitches down here. If if I'm correct. No, down here. So somehow I made this shorter. Don't know how I managed to do that. Most likely I wasn't paying attention, so I managed to do this a bit short, but I managed to get the crossing at the exact point where it should be. So this is good, and all in the heart is good. So yeah, this one is just a bit too close to the side, but it looks good. I just let some stitches out, the ones that were overlapping, so you still have the same feeling, because the flower here is actually overlapping this strand of grass. So it used to be 2 stitches, and I just made it into 1, so you can still see it's flowing. And I need to backstitch. Yeah, I need to backstitch it all, but especially in the viewfinder it looks so cool. Yeah, and it's wrinkled. I use my hoop and I take it out and then I store it. So that's gonna be started on next week, or when I finish the little squirrel. Squirrel. I can't say the word. What a horrible word. So yeah. Floss tube, very pretty fabrics, very pretty designs, patterns. Last week I was on the edge of jumping. I jumped. Yeah. So first of all, I wanted to dye my own fabric, because last week I showed you this little cutie, and I really like the design, but I do not want to stitch it on white. I think I want to do it a very pale green. While I love living in the Netherlands, finding cheap craft supplies is kind of a pain. Yeah, we don't have a lot of crafting stores. The closest store that actually holds a lot of floss is near my grandma's, which is 45 minutes away, which is very far away for Dutch standards. Yeah, that's quite a while. We're a small country, so we're used to having everything close, but no. And there's one store I really want to visit, but it's on the other side of the country, literally the other side of the country. So it would take me 2 hours just to drive up there. And then I need to go back. So I might do it when I'm near, someday maybe. But they do have the Weeks Dye Works, all the specialty threads and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I decided to do this in a very pale green. What do you think? It needs to be very pale because of the little strand there. But when I take out the floss, it is this green. So I want to go a couple of shades lighter than this, for this to still stand out. And the rest will just pop off the green. There's no issue with that. So it needs to be very pale green. But fabric dye, yeah. Finding something you can use for hand dyeing, pretty impossible. I either need to order stuff from the UK, or I found some other sellers that do sell them, but for very high prices. So I'm still looking into it, and I did find the Procyon dye beads, actually pretty close to me. But we're going to start with something else first, because I want to try it first before I buy even more stuff I'm probably not going to use very often. So I went to my local craft store, which is like very small, and I picked up those two greens. So this is very dark, but it's already diluted. But she told me I can dilute it further to get a very pale green, so I might try that. Or I can use this one, and this is normal fabric paints. which is actually for painting on fabric, so it's very thick. But she told me if you use just a little bit and really dissolve it in water, you can let it soak in, and you need to blow dry or iron twist to make it stick. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go with this one first because it's already liquid. I'm really gonna dilute it a lot because it's way too dark as it is right now. But it is liquid, but they only had like 4 colors in the liquid. And they do have a very large range of these kind of colors. So yeah, I'm gonna dye my fabric because I fell in love with all kinds of dyed fabric. Mainly because I joined a stitch along. It is the Home for Christmas stitch along. I printed it out in black and white because I printed it out at work. But it is a SAL which releases a very small house once every week. So every Saturday we're gonna get a very small house, which is only a couple of stitches, like 3 hours work. So that's, I'm gonna be able to fit that in with a very nice border. And it is from Fuzzy Fox Designs on Etsy, and she's been very kind because they did it on a very modeled, very pale blue, purple, pink. It's called Cotton Whispers from Suedal, Australia. Yeah, they don't ship. They don't ship to the Netherlands. So I actually asked the designer Rachel what she would recommend as a fabric color for this stitch along, because I wasn't able to get it. And she actually told me all the colors I could use, or I should check out All About Cross Stitch on Etsy because they did sell fabrics that were kind of alike. So I did, and I bought some. They're UK based, which is pretty okay since I only needed to pay 10 euros shipping, so not too bad. And I got 2 pieces because I wasn't really sure which I wanted, and it's a printed Ada in opalescent. So this is the 14 count. It is 45 by 50 centimeters, and this is a very pretty canvas, and it has the printing on top. So I'm not going to be able to use this part, but I'm going to be able to use it further down. I really like it. I really like this color, but the pattern actually calls for 16 count. So oh, that was the 14 count Ada, was Cotton Candy Sky, and this is Away with the Fairies, which has more of a blue upper half and then pink at the bottom. So I've been contemplating because I can actually do it, turn it and stitch the SAL just on the blue part. It will end somewhere around here, so I still have more than enough room to use the pink part. And this is also an opalescent Ada, very pretty. But I'm not really sure, and since I got addicted to Etsy, need more stuff. No. I actually ordered 2 more fabrics, also from Etsy, from Hard Stitch Designs, and they're based in Italy. And they haven't shipped yet, but I only ordered them just before the weekend, or in the weekend, so 3 days ago. So they haven't shipped yet, but I'll see. But that's London Mist, which is a bluish gray, also modeled, also 16 count Ada. and Renaissance, which also has some greens and pinks in it. I'm really hoping they're gonna be more to my liking. I'm still gonna use those because I do like them, so, but for another project. So yeah, I got those. Fabric for the SAL. Then I needed floss. Yeah, another perk of being in the Netherlands, DMC floss is very expensive here. So if I look at 123 Stitch, they sell them for like 80 cents a skein, but they do not ship DMC overseas. And that's $80 cents, so that would most likely be even a little bit less. And when I go to a store, the store that's closest to my grandma is has them for $125, I believe. So I actually might need to go and visit my grandma sometime soon. But all the most common range is €1.50 for one skein of thread. I bought some from a local craft store. They were $1.60 a strand, but I got 10 and I only paid for 9, so I got 1 free. But yeah, a bit pricey, so I went and looked, and there's a seller and they sell unbranded floss. They just call it cross stitch floss, and they say it's the same as DMC, but just not called DMC. So I ordered all the floss for my stitch along from them, and I have most on bobbins. Something else I bought. I have it on bobbins, but I have one skein over here. This is the floss. That's 74 cents, free shipping. And since I bought some DMC as well, I'm gonna pull that out. It isn't white, but you get the drift. It feels exactly the same. So the feeling is the same, they're the same length. But this is the original DMC floss. I just wanted to feel the difference, see the difference for myself, but it feels the same. So most likely I'm gonna buy these instead of these. But I did buy some already on bobbins. I went on some, we call it marketplace. You can sell all your stuff there and buy stuff. And someone very close to me had 30 bobbins of DMC thread with the number written on the bobbins for €6. So it's eight something with shipping, which is fine. Still a lot cheaper than trying to buy them myself. So yeah, so this one is my extra 5200. Sorry, English today. And I bought 10 strands of DMC floss. And why did I buy DMC floss, you would say? You already have them for your stitch along. Well, I bought some patterns and I'm missing one. Where is it? There it is. I bought these patterns. They came in from Ali, and they actually only use 1 or 2 colors, and they do come with skeins. So this one, it's 2 skeins of 666 and one of 3706. And this was just 2 times the 326. So I bought those in DMC just to stitch those up with true DMC floss and still have the other colors, which feels kind of like a bit more fuzzy than the ones I got from the store. But let's take a closer look. So we have the happiness tree, and I'm gonna try to go 18 counts. Yeah, I'm gonna try going 18 count, but I really love the design. I got the Merry Christmas version. So it says Merry Christmas, but you're gonna see it backwards in a heart. And it has 2 shades of red. So I have those. I have this one, also an 18 count. Those of you who follow me on Instagram, I already have the same mouse, the same designer, with another set. Then I got these on 14 count. It's a bit larger. Some puppies. And then I got this very cutesy little girl with some sparrows. So yeah, those are going to go in the stash, and I actually bought myself a little cabin with drawers where I can place all the kits I have. What did I buy a little bit more? Well, there's a store I really love going. It has kind of everything, and they have those very cutesy little cross stitch kits. So they come with everything. I have actually already did some of those, and they're really quick stitches. So they come with 14 count Ada. They're really cute. So I got a butterfly, I got the peacock, and then I got the hummingbird. But those strands of floss, they aren't labeled, so you don't know what DMC color it is. So if you have leftovers, you can't really use them. So that are the kits I bought. And then I bought some more. I bought myself a little scissor. I used my nail scissors for it, so that wasn't really, they were sharp, that was the reason. So I bought a specific scissor for this one. I bought some good needles too. Specifically a smaller or thinner one for the 18-16 count, because I'm going to need a thinner one, and this is the one for 14 counts. You can't see the needle in, but there's a needle in it. The stitch along actually calls for some beads. You could use beads. I'm not really sure. Mill Hill packs aren't sold in the Netherlands. So I'm gonna go through my stash of beads, because I do have a very large stash of beads, since I used to make glass bead jewelry way back when, but my mother wanted to throw them out and I wouldn't let her. Now I'm very happy, so I've got lots of beads, so maybe I find the right colors, but I got some needles for that as well. Then I realized that I needed to grit my fabric, most likely for the stitch along or for the larger pieces. So I tried finding colored nylon thread in my craft store. They only have the clear one, so I bought the clear one. Very thin, very likable. And then I went to the store where I just wanted to pick up the boxes to put my stuff in. They also had the black one with the normal one. So yeah, I've got some extras, let's say it like that. And then I picked up some sparkly threads, which I might use partly in the border for my Home for Christmas SAL. It's Gutermann, and you can use them for embroidery mostly, but some very simple back stitches would work with that. So I'm not going to use the sparkly threads on the opalescent Ada, but since I'm most likely not going to do the stitch along on the opalescent Ada, I might use this, and I really like the silver one. And there's also very nice Christmassy green, so I might actually do use those. The red is actually red and purple, so I'm not really fond of that, but those three I love, and I love the green. It might come in handy, and they came in a very pretty box, and they weren't that expensive, so why not? I think that's it. Yeah, my hair is a mess, I know. I just took a shower and it didn't want to go the way I wanted it to. And I'm still in night shift mode. I came out of my night shift yesterday, so Sunday and Monday I did the last night shift. Slept 3 hours during the day. Woke up, went shopping. A crafter on little sleep trying to shop craft supplies is like a kid in a candy shop. I bought it all, I didn't care. I just went forward. So yeah, that's what I bought. I still have some kits from Ali coming in, but those are the last ones I'm gonna order. I'm gonna stitch those up and then slowly gonna go to the patterns that I found on Etsy because they're very pretty and I really like doing that. So I hope this week my fabric will come in for the stitch along, and then I need to do a lot of work because the first 2 weeks are already out. I need to do the entire border and I need to do 3 houses because on Saturday the next house is gonna come out. And they're not really difficult stitches, so I think I'm good with that, but let's see. And I'm not really sure. I think I'm gonna have enough border to actually frame it or place it in just a picture frame. I'm not gonna mount it or anything else. No, not yet. So that's all I've got this week. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed my little stash and ramble. There's nothing left for me than to wish you all a very happy life, love and craft, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye!